Shadowfight 2 is a game full of weapons, and with 7 chapters to divide them, it can be a hassle to decide which one to use throughout an entire act and which one not to, which is why today I'm going to tell you the best weapon of each act. But as a short disclaimer, I will not include boss weapons and gem weapons. But with that being said, let's get right into it. Act 1's best weapon is Mercedes. Mercedes is usually one of the most underrated weapons of the act, but it's rather quick with its attacks and it gives a solid amount of range too. On top of all of that, the super attack is completely unique and really powerful, ignoring a certain gemmed weapon of course. Regardless, it's incredibly powerful when used correctly. Moving on to Act 2, its best weapon is the Tonfas. If you are a fan of the Mercedes quick attacks, then you'll love this weapon, because it's not only fast but also incredibly precise, since most attacks are a guaranteed head hit or critical hit. And if you're skilled enough, then this weapon is the easiest way to get in some really lengthy combos. Its best weapon is undoubtedly the Oriental Sabers. They are essentially the better version of the Mercedes from the first act. They keep the speed and strength of it, while adding a new super attack that exceeds its predecessor. I mean, you become a literal helicopter. Does it get cooler than that with super attacks? Act 4's best weapon is the Kusarigama. It's pretty much a no-brainer since Kusarigamas are some of the best weapons in the game. They've got both high damage and long range, which makes it the perfect counter to Wasp and practically any other foe you meet in this chapter. The only real issue with it is it's the last weapon you unlock, so it's a good weapon, but you're gonna get it pretty late. Heading into Iceland for this act, Act 5's best weapon is the Battle Hammers. It's easily the best baton weapon in the game because its super attack straight up dominates enemies with the barrage of deadly attacks. On top of that, the basic attacks are just as good when it comes to getting head hits and critical hits as the super attack, which makes it a very versatile weapon and a very reliable one too. Moving into Act 6, which straight up looks like the Fire Nation, the best weapon here is the Trident. The Trident is a beast of a weapon which is insanely powerful due to its range and damage, but more importantly it's almost impossible to dodge its super attack. It straight up stabs you in the chest, punches you, and stabs you again. If you're good with using this weapon, then there's straight up no room to escape for your opponents, which is why if you like staff weapons, well, I guess you found a new weapon to use. For the final act, there weren't really much choices for coin weapons, a lot of them were gemmed, but out of all the options remaining, I think Thruster made the most sense. It can be tough to memorize the attacks, but aside from that, it's an incredibly reliable weapon for long range attacks. Not to mention it has the most powerful uppercut attack, and the rest of the attacks are incredibly fun to use, while also penetrating the enemy's defenses really well. So if you like weapons with a ton of playability, then this one's pretty much it, cause you have so many attacks. This weapon is just pretty much all around fun for casuals and people who love using the staff weapons. All in all, this is the best weapon of Act 7 in my opinion, and if I had to redo it all over again, this is the one I'd pick. With all that being said, I want to reconfirm that obviously this is all just my opinion, so if you have different thoughts, please feel free to leave it in the comments below, and if you just have a comment in general, please leave it below. So yeah, with all that being said, like, sub, do all that good stuff, and see ya.